have to go anywhere between now and around 3 o'clock. Just wait for the storm to kind of continue to push off to the north and the east. So let's take a look now at our threat trackers to see. You can see the hail size kind of really picked up here in this storm that's a little bit south of Bartlett, right near the Wolf Chase area. I'll circle this so you can see exactly where I'm talking about. But this purple and black area there, that lets us know that that hail size is probably very significant in that area. You definitely want to make sure that if you have a car out in that area, or if you live close to Highway 64 near Eads, you want to pull all of your vehicles inside, because this storm is headed your way. And it's really not moving very fast. The hail size could be greater than an inch. That lets us know that the hail is monstrous. So you're looking at hail that's almost the size of a ping pong. Definitely want to make sure that you are exercising caution at this time, and don't go out, try to take pictures. Don't do any of that, because this hail could definitely be damaging at certain times. Let's pull up another threat tracker for us to see if we're looking at any rotation in these storms, because everybody wants to know if there's a little bit of rotation. And as of right now, there could be a little bit, but we're not looking at anything that could warrant a tornado. So that's good for us. But it looks like the strongest part of this storm is right there where you see on your screen, right where that line is going through. I'll take that line off for a second. But this is for Lino Road near Houston Levee, near Siskin Drive, near Pisgah. That is where the strongest part of this storm that's moving through Shelby County is located right now. So you definitely want to make sure that if you know anyone in that area, maybe on their lunch break, maybe going out for just a quick second, tell them to, hey, watch out, the storm is coming your way. The winds are high and hail is definitely a possibility. Now we take a look at our second severe warning storm. It doesn't look like there's much rotation there. In fact, that green shows weak, and that's what we like to see. We don't want to see that there's been any possible rotation in those storms. So hail looks to be our main threat, and we would like for it to stay our main threat here in the Mid-South. But here's a look at our hail detector. I'll zoom out so we can see both storms at the same time. That purple shows us that there's definitely some small hail possible as it gets to be a little bit pinker. So this storm that's right here north of Millington, that's definitely showing us that that hail size could be on the larger end of the spectrum, so maybe closer to an inch or greater than an inch. So you definitely want to make sure that you are using caution there as well. So there's this one storm system, and I'll zoom out so that we can see what exactly is going on across the rest of our viewing area, because most of us are probably sitting in our homes wondering, well, what's going on? Well, there's a severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby and Fayette County until 2:15. So definitely want to make sure that you all are aware of that. That's also for Poinsett, Crittenden, and Mississippi County in Arkansas. All of these storms are severe warned until 2:15. And we can anticipate some more pop-up storms too to be coming in our area. But North Mississippi right now, you all are dry. So while you think that things are okay where you are, that doesn't mean to let your guard down. Some of these isolated pop-up storms could be popping up all across the area. Now, once the sun goes down, we'll probably lose a little bit of our instability, which means that things will calm down in the atmosphere, and these storms won't be holding on to this really strong strength that they have right now. The sun is kind of fueling those things. So once sunset comes later on tonight, things will calm down just a little bit. And then Saturday, you're looking at a situation where things are much calmer until Saturday night going into your Sunday. So don't let things down just yet this weekend. Just plan to have your rain gear handy with you pretty much every single day, because there's a slight chance for rain almost every single day for the next 6 to 7 days. Now, taking another look at the severe thunderstorm warning, because I know a lot of people are hearing the thunder outside. We're hearing the thunder here in Bartlett at our studios, and the rainfall has slacked up in Bartlett, but the storm is continuing to push off to the north and the east. And in fact, I'll put a little bit of a lapse on it so we can see how fast or how slow it's moving. In fact, it is moving very, very slow. In the last 15 minutes, that storm really hasn't made much headway at all. But just a heads up, Fayette County, this storm is headed your way. So what you'll see is they'll probably extend this severe thunderstorm warning to go past 2:15 specifically for Fayette County. There's also a severe thunderstorm warning at the tip of Shelby County. So that's a little bit north of Millington. So definitely want to make sure that's a heads up for Lauderdale County as well. A few counties in Arkansas, Mississippi County, you guys are going to start to see this storm kind of continue to push northeast as well. So that's a heads up. If you live in those areas, you definitely want to make sure that you're being very weather aware. I'll put a storm track on it so we can see. We'll start with this, this storm down here in southeast Shelby County. I'll put a storm track on it so we can see this is probably the worst part of the storm, and it's moving around. We'll put it at 33. So Eads at 2:21 p.m., Oakland at 2:31 p.m., Mason at 2:50 p.m., and Stanton at 3:02 p.m. Heads up, the storm is headed your way. And like I said, they are definitely going to extend this severe thunderstorm warning for Fayette County. They just said that in the chat, so that's something that I'm keeping my eye on as well. We're having a busy weather afternoon here in the Mid-South. Hey, let's take a look at this Arkansas camera at I-55 in Bassett, near exit 36. You can see the roadways are very wet there. Definitely some rainfall still moving in that area. So once things calm down, you can see that the rainfall was heavy when it fell in that area. And just like we saw that camera at Highway 64 and I-40, look at the rain that's being splashed up from that truck that's on the side. That's a lot of rainfall there. So you definitely want to slow down, take your time, because these storms are dumping a lot of rain as well as that hail. So that definitely increases our chances for possible afternoon accidents this evening. So they just reissued this severe thunderstorm warning. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so that we can reset here. In case you're just now joining us, it is 2:09 p.m. They drew another polygon, is what we called it. This is for Fayette and Shelby County until 2:45, this new polygon, and that is for that storm that I was saying that was traveling eastward. So I'll zoom in to that one now. That is for this storm that you're seeing on your screen. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby and Fayette counties until 2:45 p.m. Winds around 60 miles an hour and hail greater than an inch at this time. So that's definitely a little bit alarming. That shows us that the hail is growing in intensity. We're not seeing it losing any of that intensity at all. Here's a look at the hail size and what we look at for our threat tracker. You can see that it's purple, and that black and white really signifies that we can anticipate having some hail. Obviously, we are going off the radar. We can't see what's going on outside right now, but our radar is indicating that there is definitely some large size hail a little bit south of Lakeland. And I'll zoom in just a little bit. In Arlington, heads up, the storm is coming your way. So the worst part of the storm is going to be traveling through Eads, just a little bit, Inglewood Place, Chester Street, Hickory Wythe, Arlington, as well as Orr Road and Braden Road. This storm is headed your way, especially where that hail is involved. So we'll put another little radar on it. And it's just this isolated storm. This is what we talk about when we talk about isolated showers bring you heavy rainfall as well as hail. This is it. This is what we are saying. Here's another look at 40 and Highway 64. It's clear outside now. The rainfall has moved northeast, but look at that traffic there. Definitely has already caused damage in the last 15 minutes. So take this time. If you have someone that has to commute home this afternoon, maybe go ahead and give them a heads up that, you know, traffic's probably going to be a mess here in just a few minutes, because as the storm continues to push northeast, we're going to start to see that heavy rainfall continuing. We're going to start to see more accidents. It's ponding on those roadways. Whenever rain falls that fast in a short length of time, you can anticipate that there will be ponding on the road. And that's exactly what you're seeing that's happening at I-40 and 64. That heavy rainfall stopped just a little bit, but the caveat with that is it's already done the damage on the traffic. People probably pulling over just for a minute to see if things would calm down. Now, the good news is they did expire one of our severe thunderstorm warnings for Craighead, Crittenden, Mississippi, and Poinsett counties in Arkansas. That's what that ding was on your screen. So we're going to start to see this severe thunderstorm warning kind of go away. That means that this is kind of losing its intensity. And I'll zoom out just a little bit again so we can see what's happening across the Mid-South. There is another severe warned storm, but that's to the north of Jonesboro, Arkansas. And that storm is also traveling northeast, so you won't have to worry about that impacting our area. But in North Mississippi, we're starting to see a little bit of activity too as we zoom in here. And this is in North Mississippi near Ripley. So this little storm, we have to keep an eye on that because that's how they start. They start off just this small, and then over a few minutes, we'll start to see them kind of develop into something that we are seeing right now in Shelby County. The good news is, as of right now, shear, and that means rotation, is not a really big concern with this storm. Hail is the main concern, and unfortunately there's really not much you can do when there's hail falling. But if you know someone who maybe works at a construction site, works outside, does anything outdoors, you definitely want to make sure that they are planning on being safe, maybe finding an area to stand under, a shed or whatever they need to be until this storm kind of passes over. It's moving kind of slow, if I'm being quite honest. In fact, over the last 30 minutes, you can kind of see it kind of intensified just a little bit when they issued that first severe thunderstorm warning, and it's continuing to push northeast. So Oakland, Somerville, Mason, Whiteville, this storm is headed your way, but it might lose intensity, which is good news for us. In fact, if I take a look at our threat tracker, it does look like we're not seeing that white speck there that is a little bit south of Lakeland. The area that I am watching right now is right here where I just drew. That's probably the strongest point of that storm. But as of right now, we're not really seeing much hail in that area. So let's take a look outside at 40 Canada Road around Lakeland. That is literally south of this storm. Very shaky. That means the winds are high. You can see that the rainfall is very heavy in that area, and the hail should probably be a little bit south of there, but I'm positive there's probably some hail. You can see some brake lights barely in the distance there, so I'm sure people are probably slamming on their brakes. I'm sure that the highways are just covered in rain. Whenever we see these heavy downpours come, it's really hard for you to see out in front of you. You definitely want to make sure, a lot of things that I'm seeing right now, people's headlights are not on. You want to make sure that your headlights are on. If you cannot see, you do need to pull over to the side of the road. You don't want to be driving with your blinkers on, but definitely want to make sure that you are being neighborly, keeping your headlights on so that the car in front of you and behind you can see your vehicle. You want to do that for your safety as well as their safety. Definitely pull over to the side and just wait for it to pass. It should be over in around 30 minutes, so you definitely don't want to risk it. It's better to pull over and wait it out than to continue to drive in conditions such as this. It's 2:15 right now, and this severe thunderstorm warning is set to expire at 2:45, so around 3 p.m. just go ahead and pull off then. If you have to pull over, go to McDonald's, grab you a lunch, and then just keep on going from there. But as of right now, you can see from that camera, this is I-40 at Canada Road right near Lakeland. The camera is shaky, but you can see it is definitely showing exactly what we're seeing outside and what our radar is indicating as well, as far as the heavy rainfall is concerned and some possible hail in that area. So just take your time this afternoon and this evening, especially if you are headed in that area. They're discussing maybe putting in a severe thunderstorm watch out, which I wouldn't be surprised, just kind of in an abundance of caution, just to say, hey, we have this, severe thunderstorm warning right now, and there could be some more that could pop up around the area. So I would not be surprised if we see some more, a watch actually issued for our area. This storm is showing us that there's probably a little bit of hail too, but I think that the strongest portion of this storm right now is moving south of Lakeland, the one that is in Shelby County. And like I said, they have canceled that other severe thunderstorm warning, so the only one that we are watching for is this cell that is moving through really southwest Shelby County. But as you can see coming up behind it, there is probably another storm that's picking up, and this is going to be on the 240 loop near Fraser. Let's see if it's picking up on any hail as well, possibly some hail in that storm. So we're gonna stay here with you because we want to make sure that you guys are safe outside and that you are safe during this storm as it continues to push off to the north and the east. Like I said, if you live in Oakland, Somerville, Williston, Moscow, this storm is headed your way, specifically to the northeast. So I'm thinking Mason, you all should probably be seeing this storm probably in the next 45 minutes to an hour. So there's your heads up there as well. I'll pull this storm up just a little bit so you all can see exactly what we're looking at. Arlington, you're not getting any rain right now, but the worst part of this storm is near Lakeland. In fact, here's another look at I-40 near mile marker 22. That's a little northeast of Lakeland. Definitely seeing some heavy rainfall there. Man, it is definitely a mess out there right now. You can see the rain kind of pouring off of that TDOT camera, and you can see it kind of coming in sideways just a little bit with the high winds coming through. At least it's not as shaky as that other camera. but it is definitely making some major impacts on the Mid-South. So I know we're getting ready to go home. It's Friday afternoon. People might be getting ready to hit the road to travel this evening. Just take it easy, because until the sun goes down, these isolated pop-up showers are definitely possible through the rest of the evening. As far as timing is concerned, it's one of those things where the storm does what it wants to do. So you definitely just need to make sure that you are prepared, have your rain gear in your car, maybe allow a little extra time to get to your next destination or wherever you're headed, because the storm could definitely intensify very quickly, just like what we saw with this storm that's moving through Shelby County right now. At around 1:40, it really was just a normal rain shower, and then it intensified so quickly that we definitely saw that severe thunderstorm warning issued. The hail size increased, in fact, it increased again, so that's why they extended it until 2:45. So just take it easy out there on those roadways today, and I'll stay with you until they expire this morning. It does look like the storm is kind of weakening just a little bit. Well, how can you say that, Danielle? Well, because as I'm looking at these threat trackers, you're not seeing that little black speck in there anymore. You're not seeing the little white speck either. We're constantly seeing our radar kind of updated with each sweep, and as of right now, it looks like this storm is weakening just a little bit. Still no shear, and that's why I like to give you that information. That shear is rotation. That means, am I looking for any rotation in the storm? And the answer to that question is no, we're not. So that's good. And here's a look at your hail size. It looks like some small size hail moving through Lakeland right now, but not anything greater than pea size, which is good. But still, that could cause a little bit of damage, and you can definitely hear it on your windshield if you are driving. I think another main part of this weather story right now is also the heavy rainfall that is involved. So you definitely want to make sure that you are taking your time if you have to go out, or maybe if you had a late lunch today. I'll zoom out again to show you a little bit more. I laugh a little bit because this one little speck that I was showing you that was near Ripley has now intensified as well. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, in the last 30 minutes or so, in fact, I'll put this is 30 minutes loop that you're seeing. It went from no storm at all to a rather large growing storm, in fact, and it is also showing some possible hail at this time. So just keep your rain hat on today, and make sure that you're being weather aware all throughout the Mid-South, because these isolated showers are popping up, and when they do, in literally less than an hour, we're seeing them really intensify, and it's definitely becoming a problem for people who are traveling right now. Heavy rainfall, high winds, and hail. Those were our three main concerns for today and this afternoon, and they will remain our concerns until the sun goes down and we lose some of that instability, some of that strength in these storms. The sun is definitely causing a problem. It's kind of fueling the storms as they continue to develop. So you definitely want to make sure that you are taking your time out there. You want to make sure that you are using caution. Don't drive too fast. Allow a little extra time as you leave as well. Let's take another live look outside. This is I-40 at Chambers Chapel Road between Lakeland and Arlington. So right where that severe thunderstorm warning storm is, and it is still until 2:45. Honestly, it looks like this storm actually might have produced hail that is probably greater than an inch. So that's definitely a problem. But you can see that people are traveling very slowly, which is good. Make sure you have your headlights on. Still a number of cars out there that don't have their headlights on. It's hard for you to see if you don't have your headlights on, and it's hard for the people in front of you. Don't slam on your brakes, because you can definitely hydroplane in conditions such as these, because the roadways are so wet and the rainfall fell so fast. So definitely want to make sure that you're using caution outside. Heavy rainfall is definitely going to be one of our concerns, as well as that hail size. The hail size, so far we've seen anything from pea-sized hail, which is itty bitty, probably the size of your fingertip, all the way to almost ping pong size, which is probably this round circle. So any kind of hail is dangerous. So when you start seeing that hail kind of get larger, that's when you want to make sure that you are being weather aware. Go ahead and maybe bring your car in if you have a garage, park under a carport, or whatever you need to do to kind of help your windows. There's not much you can do, unfortunately, with hail, but if you do know someone who works outside, especially this afternoon, it's still a work day, you definitely want to make sure that they have a heads up that the storm is headed their way. Let's take another look at this storm, though, that is moving through Shelby County and on our radar. It is until 2:45, and it's for Fayette and Shelby County. And over the last 30 minutes, we have kind of seen it kind of weaken just a little bit. The rainfall has increased with it, but heads up, if you are in the Arlington area as well as in Somerville, Whiteville, Mason, this storm is definitely headed your way. Definitely something that you need to use caution for. Heavy rainfall, hail are two main concerns. Great news that we're not really seeing any rotation in that storm. Rotation is what causes us to see tornadoes, and we're not seeing that at all, which is great. But the winds and the hail size definitely a possible concern for us. And if we take a look at our hail detector, I'll zoom out so we can see even that storm that is moving through Tippah County right now near Ripley, and I'll circle where I'm talking about so you can see it on your screen. That storm is even producing some hail now, and that's just developed in the last 15 to 20 minutes. Also keeping my eye on this storm that is developing near Fraser. That storm looks like it is picking up in intensity just a little bit as well. So if I zoom in for that radar, I'll just keep Shelby County kind of in my sights right now until we get the all clear. But this is our threat tracker. This lets us know exactly what we're looking for. And any of those purple spots that you're seeing on your screen lets us know that those are areas where hail definitely possible. Right now in our weather service chat, they're saying that there's gusts upwards of 54 miles an hour near Truman. So that's near Poinsett, Arkansas. And that's right here in this area. So a little bit north of Marktree. That's where the severe thunderstorm warning was, and they canceled it. They brought it back. But, you know, these storms, they just pop up so quickly and they become severe almost immediately. So just keep that in mind. Not everyone's seeing rainfall, and not everyone will see rainfall today. This is one of those situations where you see these pop-up isolated summertime showers coming, and you just have to be prepared for them. Heavy rainfall, high winds, and hail will be our main concerns. And we'll have another day like this again Saturday night going into your Sunday. And Sunday looks like off and on spotty showers are definitely possible. We could be dry for the most part on Saturday. So if you have any Saturday afternoon plans, you should be able to get those in. You shouldn't have to worry about that at all, but definitely anticipating some more storms. Hey, let's take a look at that camera. I think it's at I-40 in Chambers near Chapel Road. You can see some lightning there if I'm not mistaken. We're gonna keep this up for just a few seconds. Heavy rainfall definitely, but you know, the hail size, as of right now, still getting reports of maybe pea-sized hail near Lakeland, but there's lightning in this storm. This storm is definitely not over just yet. It might be out of your area, but it's still in Shelby County, and it's still moving northeast. So Mason, Somerville, in fact, I'll put a storm track on it so that we can give everyone a heads up that's in this area. There we go. That's a better view there. So Oakland at 2:28 p.m., Galloway at 2:32 p.m., Williston at 2:37 p.m., Braden at 2:44 p.m., Somerville at 2:48 p.m., Mason at 2:51 p.m., Stanton at 3:06 p.m., Whiteville at 3:18 p.m., and Eurekaton at 3:20 p.m. Excuse me. So if I called your town out, you definitely want to make sure that you are being aware of the weather. You might not be seeing any rain right now. You probably aren't, but you could probably see the clouds are getting a little bit dark outside because that storm is on its way to you. So once again, Oakland at 2:28, Galloway at 2:32, Williston at 2:37, Braden at 2:44, Somerville at 2:48, Mason at 2:51, Stanton at 3:06, Whiteville at 3:18, and Eurekaton at 3:20 p.m. This storm will be on your doorstep. This is that severe thunderstorm warning that is for Fayette and Shelby counties until 2:45 p.m. So that's the only severe thunderstorm warning we have right now, but this storm that is moving through Tippah County right now, it is definitely intensifying just a little bit, especially a little bit south of Ripley. That is showing us that we could definitely be seeing some possible hail in that storm. There is a special weather statement out for that storm, but not necessarily a severe thunderstorm warning. So what does that mean? It means that the storm is intense, but it's not really intense enough for it to be a severe thunderstorm warning. So it's not meeting the qualifications. The winds aren't greater than 37 miles an hour. We're not seeing hail greater than an inch. So it's still strong. You're definitely probably hearing some rumbles of thunder. You're probably seeing some lightning outside. You might even be seeing some pea-sized hail, but unfortunately that does not meet the criteria for a severe thunderstorm warning. But definitely still use caution in this area as well, because we've seen this storm kind of intensify the last 15 to 20 minutes. And as the radar keeps scanning the area, we could be seeing the storm get stronger, especially since the sun is not setting just yet. So it's something that we will keep our eye on, specifically in this area. And as we take a zoom out, we'll keep our eye on the entire Mid-South, because we can definitely anticipate some more storms to continue to develop. Now, if I take a look at our threat tracker for this one severe warning storm that is in Shelby County right now, it does look like things are kind of weakening. So I'll be interested to see in the next 5 to 10 minutes if they're going to continue this severe thunderstorm warning. It's a possibility, but as of right now, it doesn't mean that it's guaranteed that they're going to cancel it, but there is a possibility that they could. But if you are in those areas, you definitely want to make sure that you are exercising caution. I'll put another storm track on it. We like for people to know exactly what they can anticipate as the storm continues to develop and form. So as of right now, it's not moving very fast, but Galloway right now, the storm is literally down the street from you. You're probably seeing very dark clouds if you live in Galloway. Williston at 2:32 p.m. Somerville at 2:38 p.m. as well as Braden at 2:41 p.m. Mason at 2:49 p.m. Stanton at 2:58 p.m. Whiteville at 3:03 p.m., Eurekaton at 3:04 p.m., Vildo at 3:12 p.m., and Brownsville at 3:24 p.m. So this storm is headed your way. So far, we've had one confirmed report now of hail near Germantown, which happened pretty early in this storm. But as of right now, Germantown, you guys are definitely not in the worst part of the storm. The worst part of the storm is still moving through Lakeland right now. Near Oakland, it's headed towards Arlington. It's moving across 269 and Fisherville, Canadaville, close to Macon. But if I zoom out just a little bit, like I said, Oakland and Somerville, you're definitely going to get the worst part of this storm. Even if it starts losing in intensity, we're going to still see some heavy rainfall. You're still going to have a few rumbles of thunder. Some lightning is involved. You can see those lightning strikes on your screen. That shows us that the storm is still intense. So with the heat and the lightning, you definitely want to exercise caution, especially if you have anything outside that's going on. It's 2:30 right now. We'll see in the next 10 to 15 minutes if they decide to cancel this warning. What they look for is to see if the threat of hail has lessened any. If that happens, then you can definitely anticipate that they will scale back this severe thunderstorm warning. They also look at the wind speeds. So far, the radar has been indicating wind speeds greater than 60 miles an hour. So that's definitely something else that they keep their eye on. We also take a look at the rainfall totals. So if the rainfall is very heavy, they might actually lessen the severe thunderstorm warning to a special statement because of how heavy the rainfall is. But as of right now, they're keeping the severe thunderstorm warning on until at least 2:45. And they are showing that we could be seeing a few lightning strikes in there as well. So they're probably going to keep it on until 2:45. Sometimes they cancel them a little bit early, but as of right now, the National Weather Service is still saying that they're going to keep this severe thunderstorm warning on at least until 2:45. And we'll stay with you until 2:45 at the very least to make sure that you guys get through this storm. Like I said, lightning is definitely a possibility with these storms, and that's definitely kind of a concern, especially since it's been so hot outside. In fact, earlier today, it was a beautiful afternoon. When I left the house, I knew that that was going to be a problem for these storms. And until the sun sets this evening, just be weather aware, because there is always a chance for you to possibly see some storms in the area. So this is a look at our severe weather outlook. I'll zoom out just a little bit. What we are anticipating today, we are in a level 1 and a level 2 right now. What does that mean? Like I said, we are anticipating these storms to continue to be on the stronger side, at least until the sun goes down this evening. And maybe around 9 o'clock, we still could be seeing some stronger storms as things continue to cool off. Now, our temperatures have dropped in the last few hours because of this rain, especially if you've gotten rain outside, but the sun is still up. So we're definitely going to continue to watch this. Here's a look at our hail threat. And this has been our main concern with these storms today. So where you see that brown on your screen and that yellow, the 15% chance, that lets us know that hail is always a possibility whenever they have one of these outlooks, and definitely was one of our main concerns with these storms today. Over the last 6 hours, you can see rain has been confined to this one little area that's near Mark Tree, has gotten probably the heaviest amount of rain, which almost shows 2 inches. So definitely keeping our eye on these storms. Heavy rainfall, high winds, hail have all been something that we've been seeing with them as they continue to develop. Let's take another live look outside. I think we still have the camera pulled up at I-40 in Chambers Chapel Road near Lakeland and Arlington. Unfortunately, this storm is just very slow moving, so we're not seeing much movement at all, and that's probably another reason why they haven't canceled that severe thunderstorm warning, just kind of out of an abundance of caution to just kind of say, hey, until the storm passes, we're going to keep the severe thunderstorm warning on. Which I don't blame them. We want to make sure that everyone is safe, whether you are here in the Metro Memphis area or if you live all across the Mid-South, because the storms are not just isolated to Shelby County at this time. They are still moving all across the area. As you take a look at this I-40 camera, you can see people are really struggling to see. You can see the brake lights outside. At least people have their headlights on. Once again, if you have to leave this afternoon, maybe if you're at work and you have to go home, if you get caught in one of these storms, you definitely want to make sure that you slow down, keep your headlights on. Maybe if you cannot see, pull over to the side of the road, because it is illegal in Tennessee to drive with your flashers on, especially if you cannot see. It's better to just pull over and wait out the storm. We're seeing these storms kind of weaken over a 15 to 20 minute period. So just take your time and ease up out there. And as you can see, if you're taking a look in that box there's a few lightning strikes as well. So some of these storms not only creating heavy rainfall and hail, but you're seeing some of those lightning strikes kind of come up as well. So let's take a wider look, once again, kind of reset here and see what we're looking at across our entire viewing area. People are still talking about the possible hail size in Germantown, which that part of the storm has actually passed. So here's a look at our radar. As you can see, North Mississippi, you all are mostly dry. There is a storm moving through Benton and Tippah counties right now, but that storm is below severe thunderstorm limits. But north in Tennessee, you can see there is that one yellow box on your screen, and that's our severe thunderstorm warning. That's in effect until 2:45. At 2:45, which is in 10 minutes, the National Weather Service will reevaluate and decide if they want to continue the warning or how they want to approach the situation. In Arkansas, you all are also mostly dry, but there's some rainfall that is very in the southeast corner of Mississippi County in Arkansas, so you all are seeing some rainfall there, but for the most part, you all are dry as well. And because we're seeing this heavy rainfall, in fact, while I talk about this, you guys can go ahead and take that I-40 camera again, because it looks like the rainfall kind of recycled and picked up in that area. There you go, barely seeing it there. And people are pulling over to the side. You see that tractor trailer off to the side as well. Flooding is definitely going to be an issue. If you live in an area that is flood prone, use caution and make sure that you are taking your time out those roadways now. As you can see, that traffic is now almost at a standstill. The heavy rainfall is picking up what we call cycling, as we'll see the storm kind of weaken just a little bit and then re-intensify. And we can see that heavy rainfall continuing to pour. You can see the hail falling. You can see all the wind kind of picking up again just when you thought that things were over. It's not, and that's what it looks like is happening here. And once again, this camera that you're looking at is between Lakeland and Arlington, which is where the strongest part of that storm is, and it's definitely causing a lot of rainfall. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. It's probably right in this area here near Airline Road as well as Chester Street. So I'm going to take this line off your screen so you can see a little bit better. But this is probably the most intense part of the storm. And as we take a look at the last 30 minutes, the storm really has not moved much, especially in that area. So that's another reason why now they're talking about potential flooding issue for portions of Shelby County, especially if you are seeing this storm in your area. And if we take a look at the last 30 minutes for the entire storm, you really haven't seen much movement, and that's not good. That means that the same places are getting dumped with rainfall right now, definitely seeing some high winds. The good news is it does look like with our threat tracker that the hail hail has kind of lessened just a little bit. But if you're in the Collierville area, this back part of the storm looks like it could be also recycling again. So Wolf River Boulevard, West Powell Road, a little bit north of Collierville. This is really close to the 385 loop here. So East Poplar Ave, Fletcher Road, as well as Peterson Lake Road, West White Road near Kirk and Piperton. This storm looks like it's intensifying in the back half. So the storm it's really not dying right now for us. So that lets us know that the atmosphere is still ripe. So the atmosphere can still cause some of these severe thunderstorm warnings and these severe thunderstorms all across the Mid-South. And hail is always our main concern. And unfortunately, you know, there's not much you can do to protect yourself from hail other than just get inside or get under a covering at the very least. But when we talk about heavy rainfall, our main concern is flooding with that. So if you live in a flood-prone area, you definitely want to make sure that you take the precautions that you need to take. If you're going to be driving in an area that might be flooded, you could be seeing ponding on the road. And it doesn't matter how well they clean these drains out. Whenever we see rain falling this fast, at this fast of a rate, you can definitely anticipate seeing some possible ponding in the roadways. Maybe even some power outages because winds have been reported around 50 to 60 miles an hour with this one storm. So if you haven't gotten any rainfall in your area, if you haven't seen any storms arriving, make sure you go ahead and charge your phones, charge your tablets, whatever you need to do. We are streaming live on our app as well as on Facebook. So you definitely want to make sure that you're using other outlets just in case you lose power at your house because the winds are so high. We've had so many different storms here in the Mid-South over the last 6 months, from the ice storm to all of our severe weather here. So some of these trees are probably just literally on their last limb. So you want to make sure that you have those phones charged, make sure you are giving people a heads up that might be a little bit down from those storms because the winds could be picking up before the storm actually arrives. So if they lose power before the storm gets there, at least they can have their devices charged just in case they do lose power. So as of right now, they have now issued a flood advisory for Fayette and Shelby County until 5:30 because of the rainfall that is in the area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at our rainfall intensity, and you can see why. This is exactly what they're saying, where you see that yellow at, which is legitimately right where that camera is, where we were looking at earlier. That shows us that that's where the heaviest of the rainfall is falling. So this is our rainfall intensity. This lets us know how much rainfall is falling right now. So there is a flood advisory in effect for Fayette and Shelby County until 5:30 p.m. What that means is that you could be seeing some urban or small stream flooding. That's caused by the excessive rainfall that has been happening, and also minor flooding in low-lying and poor drainage areas. So definitely want to make sure that you are using caution if you know that you have to drive in that area. So far, between 1 and 2 inches of rain have fallen in this area, and we could be seeing more than an inch kind of develop over the next hour or so. And because of that, that's why they issued the flood advisory. It's not technically a flash flood warning, but it is a flood advisory. So that's kind of like the step before the warning. So if rainfall keeps falling at this rate, you might see them actually increase that to a flash flood warning. As of right now, there's not a severe thunderstorm warning out, but I will zoom out once again, kind of reset. We are in a level 1 and a level 2 for strong to severe thunderstorms pretty much for the rest of the day. Until the sun goes down tonight, you can anticipate them, these pop-up storms kind of being intense at times. Definitely want to make sure you exercise caution. It's 2:41 in the afternoon. People have to go home today. People have to get to where they're going. People might be traveling. It is a Friday evening. You might be heading out on the roadways. Make sure that you use caution. Make sure you allow a little extra time to get where you're going. Don't try to rush because you're definitely going to be seeing this rainfall kind of pop up all over. And some of us might even stay dry tonight. Who knows? But you just need to make sure that you are aware of what's happening outside. And it's kind of in a line. It's almost an organized line of this front that's coming through right now. As you can see, that white line that I just drew on your screen there, that lets us see that this is part of that cold front that's coming through. These storms kind of popped up and they are coming with a punch as they develop across the area. I'm going to zoom in again to this storm in Shelby County and put another track on it because now it has reached the Oakland area, but it looks like the worst part of it is still moving through Shelby County, if I'm being completely honest, especially through the Collierville area near 269. So we'll put a track on it so that people in the immediate area that could be impacted could definitely anticipate some possible storms in that area. So Galloway right now at 2:49 p.m. It's 2:42 p.m. just for your reference, but at 2:49 p.m. Galloway, this storm will be on your doorstep. Williston at 2:54 p.m. Braden at 3:03 p.m. Somerville at 3:10 p.m. Mason at 3:13 p.m. and Stanton at 3:40 p.m. So all of you all will be seeing some of this storm, and what they're talking about in our chat right now is exactly what I was saying, is that this storm that is moving close to Collierville is what we call recycling. You can see it kind of picking up in intensity. How do I know that? Because we're starting to see our threat tracker picking up a little bit more hail in that area. This is right in the Collierville area. So if you live near Canadaville, Elba, New Bethel, just kind of have your head on a swivel, make sure you're being weather aware, go ahead and charge your phones because this storm is headed your way. Definitely going to be seeing some heavy rainfall in that area, not to mention hail, as you can see on your screen. That's what that purple, those purple dots that you're seeing right now is for. So reading a little bit of the bulletin that they just said, they are going to issue a new thunderstorm warning for southeastern Shelby County going into Fayette. So that's exactly what the storm that we're looking at now. So I'll zoom out just a little bit once again, and that storm will probably be for the next 30 minutes or so. But this is the interesting part about this. Whenever we see this happen here in the Mid-South, we see some of these, and it's all over the South. Whenever we have these isolated pop-up showers in the afternoon and the evening, they come and they are on the stronger side. Now, we can see them really intensify. They become severe thunderstorm warnings, and that's what happened this afternoon. We saw one storm kind of develop, and it only took 30 to 45 minutes for it to really become a severe thunderstorm and really meet the criteria for us to have this warning, and that's what you're seeing right now. Now I'm going to zoom in on Shelby County because honestly this is the worst of the storm that's moving through right now, and even here in Bartlett we can start to hear a little bit more rainfall, and if you're in the studio, just a heads up that there's heavier rainfall on the way. So I know our crews are probably getting ready to go out for the day and get their stories together, but more rainfall is on the way for Bartlett. So just remember, this heavy rainfall is definitely heavy at times. It's causing trouble with visibility. It's causing troubles, just accidents. We've seen accidents happen over the last few minutes as well. So taking a look, they just expired the severe thunderstorm warning, but they're going to redraw another one. It's 2:45, so we're going to see some of the new information. They just have not issued it just yet. But while that warning is gone, we're going to stay on until they reissue the second warning. I'm going to take a look pretty much across the southeast to see what we're seeing. And this is our national radar. So this is good. What this is showing us is really there's not much activity coming behind this front. You can see that there is a severe thunderstorm warning that's near Little Rock, and that one, that yellow says that it's a destructive tag, but it's going southeast, so we don't have to worry about that. So our main concern right now is everything that's happening in our viewing area, which is good news for us because we don't have to worry about anything happening as far as coming behind this front. So here's another look at Shelby County. This is the new severe thunderstorm warning. I'll read you the bulletin once again. This is for Marshall County in Mississippi, Fayette and Shelby counties in Tennessee until 3:15 this afternoon, and that's for the same things that we're looking for: 60-mile-an-hour winds, possible hail that's greater than an inch, and this is going to be until 3:15, so another 30 minutes at least with this storm that kind of recycled on us. Let's take a live look now at I-40 and Covington Pike. Man, you can see the rainfall really coming down there. It's legitimately just streaming down the camera there. So that lets us know that the rainfall, they're zooming in for us. Thank you, TDOT. So you can see that it's definitely causing some issues this afternoon. It's 2:47 in the afternoon, and it's definitely hard to see out there. So you definitely want to make sure that you use precaution if you have to go home. Obviously, everyone has to get home this afternoon. I'm sure there's people at work. Just take your time on those roadways. Keep your headlights on. If you can't see, pull over to the side. This storm should be over before 4 p.m., but it's continuing to push northeast. So if you work in Fayette County, if you live in Fayette County, this storm is headed that way. So just because it's dry where you are right now, if you're northeast of Shelby County, you definitely want to make sure that you're being weather aware, because the storm is headed your way. Here's another look at, this is I-40 at White Station, another TDOT cam for us that we can pull up, also showing the heavy rainfall that is moving through the area. So, you know, it's just one of those things where we see these isolated pop-up storms. Sometimes they are more severe than we would like, and sometimes they are just, you know, a little bit of rainfall. But even here in Bartlett, where we are not under the severe thunderstorm warning, we are hearing a few rumbles of thunder ourselves. So let's take a look at this new severe thunderstorm warning. It's mostly in Fayette County, but it looks like the worst of it is kind of leaving out of the Germantown, Collierville area. So even though this warning is going until 3:15, if things start to kind of weaken a little bit, here's a look at that hail size. You can see where the hail and all that lightning is. That shows us, man, right there north of Collierville. I'll zoom in. Near Kirk Crossroads, near Elba, this storm that's where the worst of it is, where you see that big old purple blob on your screen. That's the best way to describe it. That is where you are seeing the worst of the storm. And this is in Shelby County, and this is until 3:45. They might, and I do mean they might, kind of weaken it just a little bit. They might cancel it a little bit early. But as of right now, where you see that pinkish purplish dot, I'll circle it there on your screen so you can see it. That is where the worst of the storm is right now. So after the radar scans a few times, if they're seeing that the storm is weakening, if we start to see more green, they'll probably cancel the warning for Shelby County. But until then, we're going to be staying on the air with you. As of right now, our main concerns with this storm is that hail size. We've had a few reports of hail in Germantown as well as near Collierville that is probably close to pea-sized hail. And if you can hear in our background, the rain is really coming down here in Bartlett, and we are not, once again, we are not a part of that severe thunderstorm warning, so I can only imagine how bad it is in the places that are actually in the severe thunderstorm warning. Heavy rainfall, hail, high winds, all of it, you're getting it right now. The best news I can tell you, we're not looking at rotation. What does that mean? We're not really tracking a tornado like atmosphere right now, which is great news, but still this storm is really packing a punch. We're seeing multiple lightning strikes. You can hear the heavy rainfall outside. So just take it easy, especially until the sun goes down. That'll probably be the best time for you to really reassess and go outside and plan the rest of your evening. This doesn't look like it's going to be an overnight event. Some of us could be seeing some more rainfall. Most of us are dry here in the Mid-South, and that's what's really kind of interesting about these summertime storms, is that some people could be seeing a really bad storm, and then others can be very, very dry. Here's a look at I-40 near Sycamore View. This is not in the severe thunderstorm warning. Yep, you heard me right. This is not part of the severe thunderstorm warning. You can see all the cars with their flashers on. This is not too far away from our studio, and we're hearing the rainfall here. You can see the lightning in the background. Visibility is very, very low at this time. So, hey, the best thing I can tell you is just wait it out. Probably try to stay at home or at work as much as possible. But as of right now, it is a mess outside. There's literally no words. If you have to pull over, it's better for you to pull over and wait it out. Pull into McDonald's, pull into wherever you need to do to just wait this storm out. It's not going to last all evening, but if you cannot see, it's illegal in Tennessee to drive with your flashers on, so you should just pull over to the side of the road. That's the better advice that I can give you, other than to try to tough it out. But the rainfall is falling so heavy there, you can barely see the cars clearly, and you can definitely tell that there's multiple vehicles with their flashers on, moving very, very slow in that area. Once again, this is I-40 at Sycamore View, and it's not part of the severe thunderstorm warning. So you can only imagine what kind of rainfall is falling north of Collierville right now. Definitely want to make sure that you are taking it easy. It's 2:52 right now. This severe thunderstorm warning is set to expire at 3:15. They might expire it a little bit earlier, but as of right now, it looks like the storm is still moving northeast and headed towards Fayette County. We just took a little bit of a power surge, so at some point you might just hear my voice, but we're going to stay on with you for a minute here. As of right now, though, here's a look at your rotation detector. Great news, no rotation. So we're not looking at a tornado event, which that's probably the best news I can give you. I know a little rainfall doesn't hurt many people, but you know, hail is the main concern here. And unfortunately, there is not much we can do about hail at all. This is a look at our hail tracker. I haven't pulled this up this afternoon. And this is where the worst part of the storm is, which is a little bit north of Collierville, near Wolf River Boulevard and Bethany Road, as well as Frank Road and West Powell Road. This is where the worst of the storm is right now, where the hail is really falling. You can see, in fact, I'll circle it on your screen there, right here at Wolf River Boulevard. That dark color, that shows us that the hail is probably pretty significant in that area. Please don't try to take pictures or videos in this stuff because it is very dangerous to be out there, especially if it's greater than pea-sized hail. Most people try to do that from their balcony door, their sliding door, but definitely don't want to put yourself outside during this time. I mean, the rainfall is falling so heavy right now that your phone would be ruined anyway. Here's a look at our 6-hour rainfall. In that area, this yellow little dot tells us that they've gotten almost 2 inches of rain in the last 6 hours, which is crazy because this storm started at 1:40. So that's less than an hour that they've collected almost 2 inches of rain. Now I'll zoom out just a little bit so we can see exactly what we're looking at across the entire viewing area. Most of us have remained dry over the last 6 hours, but exactly where that line of storms is located shows us exactly what we're looking at as far as the rainfall is concerned. Now, as we take a look at our severe weather outlook, just in case you just joined us now, we are in a level 1 and a level 2. So some of these storms that continue to pop up across the Mid-South tonight, they could continue to be a little bit intense at times. So you definitely want to make sure that you use caution. If you have somewhere to go this afternoon and this evening, take your time getting there. There's no rush. You'd rather get there safely than be in an accident. And we are definitely seeing a lot of flashers on, people pulling over to the side of the road. We're going to start to see some backups here. Rush hour probably start in the next hour or so. So people are going to be heading home, trying to get where they're going to go. It's a Friday afternoon. People might be traveling, might be going out of town. And it is a long weekend this weekend for some people. So just take it easy. You'll get there when you get there. It's better to get there a little bit late and safe than not to get there at all. So here's a reset for you, exactly what we're seeing. If you live in Clarksdale, Mississippi, or in Panola County, you're probably wondering what is going on because there's no rain. There's nothing going on outside at all. But pretty much north of I-40, north of 22, you're seeing the rainfall coming, the severe weather that is happening right now. This is a severe thunderstorm warning once again, and it expires at 3:15 this afternoon, and that is our main concern. They haven't said anything about maybe canceling it early or taking Shelby County out, but there is a possibility that that could happen before 3:15. It's 2:56 outside right now. The rainfall is heavy. The hail is definitely falling. It could be just pea-sized hail, but nevertheless, still could be seeing some possible damage. You can see the lightning strikes there on your screen. That lets us know that the storm is intense at times and in places here in the Mid-South. So take it easy out there. We're not seeing any shear, which is rotation, which is great news. We're not seeing that at all in this storm. So you're not looking at a tornadic event necessarily, but you are looking at a situation that the rainfall has caused a flood advisory for Shelby County until 5:30 tonight. You are seeing that the hail size, its radar indicated it's greater than an inch. And because of that, they issued that severe thunderstorm warning. Winds could be greater than 60 miles an hour right now. So definitely cause for concern. In fact, let's take that I-40 and Sycamore view camera. You can see it kind of bouncing up and down. That lets us know that the winds are very, very high out there and that rainfall is falling really fast. And unfortunately, like I said, even with what you're seeing on your screen right now, this is not part of the severe thunderstorm warning. So you can only imagine what's happening in that area. As of right now, they have not issued a severe thunderstorm watch for the area or for anywhere in the Mid-South, but that might be changing in the next few hours. So just keep that in mind. In fact, I think that our storms could be remaining strong as they pop up across the area, at least until the sun goes down. Once the sun goes down, things will kind of calm down just a little bit, but the sun is kind of intensifying some of these storms as they pop up and continuing to fuel them as they push northeast. So right now, there's only one severe thunderstorm warning in our viewing area, and that is for Shelby and Fayette County until 3:15, and that's because of the radar indicating winds up to 60 miles an hour and hail greater than an inch. And that is definitely concerning for those people that live in that area, and specifically Fayette County, because the storm is almost through Shelby County right now. Even though we're seeing a lot of rainfall, which you're seeing in the top of your screen there, that's not in the severe thunderstorm warning. Most of us are getting some rainfall here in Shelby County, but we're still seeing stronger storms moving off to the south of us here in Bartlett and near Sycamore View, and that's where that camera is on your screen. So let's take a little bit of a reset and look at our radar and see what we've been looking at over the last 30 minutes to see what the storm has really done. And honestly, it's just kind of been hanging out in the same area. Like I said, the strongest of the storm right there at 269, right north of Collierville. That's where we're seeing the heaviest of the rainfall, and we're seeing lightning, and we're also seeing the high winds in that area. That's the strongest of the storm. As of right now, they are not talking about canceling this severe thunderstorm warning, and I understand that, because the hail size is still pretty significant and we're not really seeing things weaken at all. Over the last 30 minutes, it's kind of held together and unfortunately been right over the same spot. And if you live in this area, hopefully you're not in a flood-prone area, because you've been getting a lot of rain in the last 30 minutes to an hour. So especially in the Kirk area, near Chulahoma Road, Raleigh-LaGrange Road as well, Fletcher Road. This is also near Peterson Lake Road, Sugar Lane. Definitely want to make sure that you are being safe at this time, because you've gotten a lot of rainfall. You've probably gotten a good amount of hail as well. Even if it's pea size, it's been falling in the same area, what we call training, for quite some time. So you've probably seen a fair amount of hail falling with the rain, if you can see it, because the rainfall could be so heavy that it's just kind of mixing in there. And as we take a look at our radar, that purple area that you're seeing on your screen, definitely still confirming that that is the strongest point of the storm right now. So I'm going to keep that little drawing on the screen. Most of us are dry though around the Mid-South, so it looks like, unfortunately Shelby County is just kind of getting the worst of it today, and this one itty-bitty piece of the storm is not moving, so it's continuing to wreak havoc right in the same spot. There you saw a radar update, so let's see exactly what we're looking at for our Barron button, and that's good news there, that we're seeing that the Barron button, which is our threat tracker, not really showing us much intensity. It's just kind of staying the same, but it's almost out of Shelby County. It's moving towards Fayette County, not really in a northern direction right now, but it's still moving there. So the National Weather Service is saying that north of downtown. Okay, so we'll zoom out just a little bit. So this storm here that we're looking at is what they're keeping our eye on then. This storm kind of developed over the last 15-20 minutes as well. This is a little bit west of Fraser, where you see that big black dot on your screen. I'll circle it here. That shows us that the hail is probably really intense in that area as well. So two storms now, both in Shelby County. As of right now, we only have one severe thunderstorm warning, and that is for the storm that is moving close to Fayette County. And it is also, excuse me, for Marshall County in Mississippi, as well as Shelby County until 3:15. Now, If they decide to issue another one for this hail size that is north of downtown, which is moving near Fraser, we'll have to keep our eye on that storm with the next few radar scans to see how that storm looks. But as of right now, hail size is showing pretty significant still in that Collierville area as the storm heads through Fayette County. So a lot to unpack here, even though we're looking at a storm that's not widespread. We're just looking at certain points of the Mid-South being impacted, literally Fayette County as well as Shelby County, and maybe even a few places in North Mississippi, but not all of us are seeing rain. Most people that are in Arkansas, you all have been dry pretty much all afternoon, and you might remain dry, but some of these storms are continuing to pick up in intensity. It's definitely something that we are keeping our eye on. Definitely don't want to drive in this mess because the heavy rainfall is definitely causing problems with visibility. You're seeing some hail out there. It's definitely just a mess. So just try your best to stay where you are at least for an hour or so to let the storm kind of pass over and let things kind of calm down. Time now right now is 3:03 p.m. Here's a live look at I-40 at Watkins. That's north of downtown. And that's right near Fraser. So that's that storm that I was telling you about. As you can see right now, not included in the severe thunderstorm warning, but definitely still seeing some major heavy rainfall in that area. So you definitely want to make sure that you are being very precautious. They just started talking about this storm in our chat right now, and it looks like we're not really seeing it's strong enough to be a severe thunderstorm warning, which is great news. We don't want to see a second severe thunderstorm warning. So that storm is just a strong storm that's impacting parts of Shelby County. So just please make sure that you are using caution. We are seeing a few reports now of maybe some power lines down. Here's a look at your futurecast for the next few hours. This is our most up-to-date model that we use. So what can you anticipate? As you can see, around 4 o'clock, we'll start to see things kind of dwindling down, like what I said, and 5 o'clock. Still some rainfall, but for the most part, things will be mostly dry. Once that sun goes down around 8, that's when we're going to lose all the intensity of these storms. But until then, some of these storms are going to be hanging on for quite some time, unfortunately. And we could be seeing some more development in North Mississippi as well. So it's something that we are keeping our eye on. Let's take another look at our radar outside. You can see the hail developing still in Collierville. It looks like there could be a power line down in Collierville near Highway 72 and by Halia. So definitely want to make sure, like I said, charge those phones. In fact, here's a look at 240 and Danny Thomas. You can see the winds shaking the trees down there to the right of your screen. If you're watching, the left of your screen, excuse me, if you're watching there on TV, the winds are very high. And that's why we're seeing power lines. Earlier, I was telling you, we've had a lot of severe weather here, whether it was the ice storm back in February. We've seen our fair share of strong storms coming through with high winds. Some of these trees and power lines have had enough. They've had enough. So you're going to start to see them breaking. You're going to see some of them falling over. Definitely want to make sure that you are charging your phones ahead of time. Even if it's not raining in your area, just charge your phones in case a storm does pop up at your house, because they could be strong, it could be severe. You definitely don't want to be caught without any way to communicate. You don't want to be caught without any way of watching to make sure that you are safe, because you could lose power at any time. We all know that that is definitely a possibility here in the Mid-South. It happens on a normal thunderstorm day, but whenever you see a severe thunderstorm with winds upwards of 60 miles an hour, that lets you know that that could definitely push over a weak power line. It could push over a tree or whatever you see outside. So drive with caution and use caution, and go ahead and charge up your phones and your devices at this time. So as of right now, we are not seeing any extra severe thunderstorm warnings. This warning is supposed to expire at 3:15, so in the next 10 minutes, which is good news, but there is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for Prentiss County, Mississippi, which is south of us. So we won't have to worry about that, which is good. But definitely want to make sure that if you're in this area, which unfortunately, I mean, this storm is moving very, very slow. So that's another reason why we're not seeing it lose intensity at all. This is a look at a 30-minute time lapse of what the storm has been doing over the last 30 minutes and producing a lot of heavy rainfall. We know that for sure here in Shelby County. But the strongest part of the storm, which is in Collierville, a little bit north of Collierville, showing that it's gotten some hail in it as well. So definitely want to make sure that you are paying close attention to the weather right now. As of right now, this is our only severe thunderstorm warning in our viewing area. I'll zoom back out so we can see exactly what's happening. The new severe thunderstorm warning off in North Mississippi is for Prentiss County. That is not in our viewing area, but still, if you live in Corinth, definitely want to make sure that you're weather aware, because that storm that's moving through Benton and Tippah County is headed your way. These storms are going northeast, so I'll draw a little sketch. So if you are in these areas where the lines are, you definitely want to make sure that you are being weather aware, because the storms are headed your way. And as you can see, we've showed you multiple times of heavy rainfall. In fact, let's pull up this camera. I think that's 240 at Danny Thomas there. That is showing a lot of ponding right in the median of the roadways with all of that heavy rainfall that came through. That's another reason why there is a flood advisory until 5:30 p.m. this afternoon. We're also getting reports that there was quarter-size hail in Ripley. So that shows you that one pop-up storm in Ripley definitely caused a lot of hail very quickly. That happened in 20 minutes. As you see, you can see that RV driving down with all the water splashing up. That's how all of our roadways are going to be looking here in Shelby County, which is unfortunately because you can definitely anticipate a lot of people heading home in the next hour or so. People are going to be traveling. It is a long weekend for most people, and it's Friday. So if you have to go anywhere, definitely want to allow a little extra time and just take it easy. If you get caught under one of these, pull over to the side and just wait for it to pass. Let's take another look at this storm that is moving through Shelby County once again and see what's been happening, see if we're looking at anything losing in intensity. I will say, really good news, a really good sign is that these lightning strikes here that I'm circling right here, less. We're only seeing around 4 or 5 of them. So that means that that storm is not as strong. We take a look at our threat tracker, looking at that hail, still not as strong, which is great news. So, and even better news. The National Weather Service expired the severe thunderstorm warning for Marshall, Fayette, and Shelby. So we're going to start to see that going away. So let's do a reset really quickly before they expire it, and then we'll return you back to your normal programming. But as of right now, we are looking at severe thunderstorms across the Mid-South. Some of the storms are on the stronger side. As of right now, this severe thunderstorm warning is going to expire around 5 minutes early. But that doesn't mean that you should let your guard down by any means. Please make sure you're being weather aware, especially here in Shelby County. While the sun is still up, some of these storms could what we call recycle, and they could gain strength once again. So we could be seeing heavy rainfall and hail developing once more, like we were talking about that storm that is near Fraser. That storm is not in the severe thunderstorm warning right now, but it is still very, very strong. So take your time out there tonight. Make sure that you are exercising caution. Don't drive too fast. Keep your headlights on. Make sure that you allow a little extra time to get where you're going. If you have a car, try to park it under something so that the hail will not damage it. There's not much you can do to protect yourself from hail. We just have to tell you about it, especially with these severe thunderstorm warnings. As of right now, we're not looking at a tornadic event, which is great news for us, but high winds, heavy rainfall, and hail will continue to be our main concerns for the rest of this evening. Make sure you download our ABC24 app so that you can stay up to date with everything that you need to know. You can text app to 901-321-7520. That will keep you up to date with all you need to know as far as the severe thunderstorms are concerned. And that noise that you just heard should be them canceling the severe thunderstorm warning. They haven't done it quite yet, but once they cancel it, we will go ahead and release you back to regularly scheduled programming. As of right now, until it looks like they're talking about the storm that is moving north of downtown Memphis, but they haven't issued a severe thunderstorm warning for it just yet. But hey, like I said, it doesn't matter where you are in the Mid-South. You definitely want to make sure that you are being weather aware tonight and until the sun goes down this evening. But for now, we will turn you back to regularly scheduled programming. If they reissue that severe thunderstorm warning, I will be sure to come back and let you all know once again. But for now, I'm meteorologist Danielle Moss, and I will return you back to programming.